What's up, gang? What is going on, everybody? Who do we have in the house? Do a quick rolly. We're a couple minutes early, but I figured might as well get on, man. Backstage is here. What's up, dude? How you doing, buddy? Marcel's in the house. Good Wednesday evening. It's good to have you back on a Wednesday. Anthony Torres Rivera. What's happening, my man? Joe C. Chuck Anthony, Sam Ortiz, Mark Watson, Bands, Aiden Davila. What's going on, everybody? Do I think the Yankees will get Sean Manaea and Frankie Montes? I think one of them is most likely from Oakland. One of them. Yo, Dan Dog 44. Ronaldo, what's good? Hirsch is in the house. What's happening, everybody? Thank you guys for joining me on Wednesday night for the live. I appreciate that, Ronaldo. Thank you, my man. Wilfredo Cordova, what's happening? FJ. If Oakland wanted Volpe and Peraza for Olson, will they want Montes? I don't think, FJ, I think it's going to be one of the other pitchers, but I would expect to give up on Medina or Hill and another prospect or two. From Montes, will get more because he has 2 controllable years. Manaea has 1, so the price will be a little bit different. You know, it is what it is. It's still going to cost. I mean, and the A's have gotten a ransom for Matt Olson. They got a good chunk of prospects from Matt Chapman, and they'll get a bit. I mean, they got a decent amount for Bassett too, and they'll get a good amount for Montes and Manaea too. So it's kind of revamping the whole thing, man. Peter Minetti, Rick Fulmer, what's happening? Who else? Joey and Nelly, what's good? Corandio Assembly, what is happening? Voit in the top prospect for a starting pitcher. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I could see Voit also, going to Colorado to join Kris Bryant. Maybe he can go there and be a DH. I mean, Kris Bryant, joining the Rockies, what he did tonight on a 7-year deal for $182 million, $26 million per. To me, they don't have a highly touted farm. So what that tells me is they plan on spending and bringing in guys at major league level from trade. So Voit, I could see being a good trade, target there. Milwaukee, a couple other teams as well. Miami, you could package him with Gleyber Torres to Miami. Maybe get, maybe try to get a pitcher. You'd have to add some prospects to it, but that's what my guess is. Ronaldo, DJ, where would DJ play? Yankees give a bit. Well, it depends on what they do with Gleyber Torres. If Gleyber Torres, he might get moved. If they want pitching, they might have don't be surprised if they move Torres and Voit to Oakland with another prospect or two to get a Montes or a Manaea or something like that, because they're on controllable years. Torres and Voit, they have 3 controllable years left. So center field options looking like right now: LeCastro, Hicks, Gallo is going to play in the center, and they brought in Enter Inciarte, who can play multiple outfield positions as well. I was hoping on Eddie Rosario, but he went back to the Braves today. Anything going on for Castillo? Not that I know of right now. The GM of the Reds said that he's probably not going to trade Castillo or Tyler Mile, but that could also be just to raise the price on them too. So if he gets a good offer, I could see him moving. And they moved Amir Garrett today. They traded him to the Royals, their top reliever, and they brought in Mike Minor, one of their starting pitchers back, a veteran starting pitcher. So I don't really know what Cincinnati's doing. It's kind of funky, but they're almost doing a fire sale like Oakland is, just in bits and pieces. So I could still see Castillo being moved. What I think the Yankees will trade Voit with Torres. I don't think they're going to Smalls. I don't think they're going to get both of the starting pitchers from the A's. I think they're probably going to want to move them in separate trades. If they get both of them, that would be incredible. But they're going to have to give up, Torres, Voit, and several top prospects to get both of them. They really will. Voit, Herman, where did that go? Voit, Herman, Hill, Oswaldo Cabrera, Miguel Andujar from Montes and Murphy. That's not going to be enough, unfortunately, Chris Schmidt, at least in my opinion. Murphy's got 4 controllable years. And even though the A's got a top catching prospect, Shea Langoliers, in return for Olson, and they still have Tyler Soderstrom, another top-rated prospect. They may keep Murphy and might dangle Langoliers or to Soderstrom. That's another option too. But yeah, right now it's Hicks, Gallo, whatever. If it's Estevan Florial or whatever it is, you never really know. I still think, the next order of business for the Yankees has to be a starting pitcher. It's the only center fielder, in my opinion, and I said this in one of my early videos, the only center fielder, in my opinion, that's worth pursuing is Brian Reynolds. but he's going to cost more than the Braves gave the A's for Matt Olson. So, I mean, Olson got a ransom, or Oakland got a ransom for Olson. It's going to be even a bigger bounty for Brian Reynolds, but he'd be worth it. He's a superstar. He's got 4 controllable years versus 2 for Olson. So it'll cost a boatload. So he's the only guy worth pursuing in a trade. So Sam Ortiz, thank you so much for the kind words and the support, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, the other center fielders, I really don't know. Like, he's the only one I would pursue. I mean, I don't know who else is available, and it's always worth going for in a trade, to be honest with you. Brian Reynolds is the guy. He is the guy. And like their own Everson Pereira, Dominguez, those guys aren't ready. And I don't think Dominguez is going to be a center fielder anyway. I think he's probably going to project as a corner outfielder. So we'll see. Who has the better season? Oh, man. Hirsch, you put me on a spot, man. Season 5 or Cobra? Because Cobra Kai keeps getting better, dude. I got my funny bones tonight, though. My funny bones. Cobra Kai is really good. Put me on a spot, Hirsch. Dang. I don't think the Yankees are done spending yet. I mean, the spending I think they're going to get is probably in a trade. So, which will be, I mean, they're going to have to offset some salary. That's why I think they would probably want to move Voit and Torres with some prospects to give some type of salary back so that the jump in payroll isn't that drastic. So, that's the only way. That's the type of spending I think they're going to do Sub-Zero, but we'll see. I don't think they're going to get Manaea and Montez, Aiden. I would be surprised. I think they're going to get one or the other, but not both. I would be shocked if they got both. But if they did, it'd be awesome. More power to them. So, Christopher Woods is in the house. What's happened, man? Mark Summers. Yeah, Cobra Kai is fantastic, man. We have a team to beat in it. Right now, on paper, the Blue Jays are better, but or comparable. Remember, they lost Simeon and Robbie Ray also, so that has to be factored into what they brought in. They're bringing in like Kevin Gausman and Yusei Kikuchi. They aren't the best pitchers. So, I mean, there's no guarantee either one's going to be better than Robbie Ray. And Chapman isn't as good as Marcus Simeon. So, but there is talk about them, in being interested in Jose Ramirez from the Guardians. That would propel them up. But keep in mind, the World Series is not won in the offseason. No matter what you bring in, they got to stay healthy and they have to perform. So, and that's the name of the game, The other big move tonight, I don't know if you saw, but Joc Pederson's off the board. Now he's signed with the Giants on a 1-year, $6 million deal. So, it's guys are coming off the board. Kris Bryant's off the board today. Matt Chapman's traded Seiya Suzuki to the Cubs, and on a pretty big deal. So, but the Cubs are incrementally getting better too. They're spending quite a bit actually. Yeah, the payroll's $250 million. I think the next move has to be a trade. So, a trade, and like I said this before, like, people are worried about the $250 million payroll. But then at the same time, like, they're like, well, you got to get Correa and Freeman. That would have blown the payroll through the roof. And there's no guarantee getting Correa and Freeman is going to put them in the World Series. That only addresses 2 holes, 2 positions. They still have 4 other ones to worry about. And this is the thing I keep saying. But, there are only 2 players, and neither one of them is a right-hander. So, and that's the thing. Like, you have, we had bad catching defense. We got better defensively with the Blue Jays trade, right? Donaldson's an upgrade over Gio in defense and offense. Even in a bad year last year, he had 27 home runs and 75 RBIs. So on a bad year, an off year. And, he's an elite glove. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is an elite glove also. To me, he would be the ideal leadoff hitter for the Yankees because he gets hits. He also steals bases. I would lead him off and then put DJ second and then Judge third and then kind of build from there. I don't want to have 2 contact hitters at the top. And I would put the faster guy of the 2. That's why I would lead him off personally. And then you kind of have to work your way through the rest of the lineup. The lineup is getting pretty deep, but would another hitter be nice? Yes. But infield's clogged, so it would have to be like a Brian Reynolds to me in a center field or something like that. And Rizzo to me, it was, it wasn't the guy I wanted, but it was a smart move. And as much as people like Freeman, he's going to get $180 million. So, and if people are concerned about the payroll now, he's going to get twice as much per year than Rizzo. So that's something to keep in mind too. And he's also 32. So you would be paying a lot of money for a lot of decline years. That was my other worry about Freeman. He's good now. About how good? I mean, how awesome he's going to be? I don't know. And the Padres are in on Freeman. Yep. He doesn't need to draw that many walks, Christopher. He gets a lot of hits. He had 170 plus hits last year. He had more hits than every single Yankee on the team. So DJ draws walks and some of the other guys draw walks. But then there's the new hitting coach now, which is one of the things he's working on with the team is better plate discipline. So I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of guys walk more. So the new offensive philosophy. Taz, I think we get Correa, Gardy, Castellanos. Castellanos, no. Correa, probably not. Gardy, maybe, but I wouldn't do it. I don't see the point now. At this point, next move's got to be pitching. It's got to be pitching. 1 or 2. I've always said 2. I would still want them to get 2, but 1, be happy if they got 1. So the Padres are in on Freeman. They're also looking to move Hosmer and Will Myers. So they're going to have to clear up quite a bit of salary to make room for Freeman, though. But Seager and Olson would have been nice. Seager got a lot of money. And Olson got me. That contract is a steal from the Braves, man. This is what disappoints me about the A's because they have guys like him. They could lock him up. And he's not going to blow their payroll through the roof. They could lock him up and build around him with some of these young guys, and they could have paid him. So, but right now, Hicks is looking good in spring training, but that doesn't say much. And I doubt they're going to get a big outfielder. There aren't any out there anyway. That's a center fielder. Who's out there? That's a big center fielder that's available. So, Angel Serrano, I appreciate the kind words and the support, man. Cheers to you. Thank you. I'm going to keep hustling and rocking, man. I want you guys to be in the loop on everything that happens. So I'll keep the video short and sweet, get you the good info, and then we can elaborate in the live streams. And go into whatever we want to. Ryan, U.S. Navy's in the house. What's happening, man? Well, yeah, I'm not a Hicks guy either, unfortunately. So my guess, Ryan, my guess is he's going to get hurt. K-Tell's gettable. And even Carson Kelly. But apparently this new catcher they got, and Ben Roverett, I can't pronounce his last name, but he's a left-handed hitter. He's a Hulk, and he's a very, very good defender. So he's going to platoon right now with Higashioka, unless they get a Sean Murphy or a Carson Kelly from Arizona. Ketel Marte, to me, would be a guy I would put in the infield and not the outfield because he still has leg problems, unfortunately. But I like him. He's a switch hitter. He's a good solid contact hitter. He's got a lot of tools. What happened going after Reynolds? I would still do it, but unfortunately, the price that was asked for, they wanted Volpe, Dominguez, and Peraza at minimum for Matt Olson. Number 1, number 2, and number 3. Brian Reynolds is going to cost more than Olson. So I don't see a scenario in the world where they get Brian Reynolds at this point. I just don't. And I think that's why they're not going to pursue Brian Reynolds right now. It's just unfortunate, but the prices are ridiculous, man. Richard K, thanks so much for the dono. I appreciate that, man. Thank you for your hard work. You guys make me want to work hard. You spend some time with me. I appreciate all of you, man. And I thank you. I'm gonna keep working hard for you guys. But yeah, Ketel Marte's, I don't even know if he's available. Honestly, I don't know he's available. So, and the Yankees are, they're in Oakland are talking trade. They're not going to do they're not going to do us any favors. They're going to want a boatload for these guys, or either one of them. They're going to get more from Montez because he's got 2 controllable years. Manea has 1. So, Will Daines, thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Fist bump right back at you, bro. Thank you so much for the donut, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. Hit those likes if you don't mind, too. If you haven't hit the like button yet, I want to try to rock and roll. Try to get as many likes as we have viewers on right now. But thank you, guys, if you don't mind. Sign Correa or Story and then trade Gleyber Voit prospects at A's. It would be, and like honestly, they could fit one of the shortstops in. You'd have to move things around. I feel, Bobby, if you trade Torres, then what you can do is you can make DJ the second baseman, and kind of Falefa could be the super utility if you want. He plays multiple positions already, so his versatility will play nicely here, and then that would open up a lot of areas. If you right now they're over 40 anyway, so they're going to have to clear roster spots just to get to the 40-man roster. So they have to do that, and I think they're 41 or 42 right now. So they have to make some trades anyway. So they have to get rid of some guys, and well, exactly, for the right price, anyone is available. Exactly. Yep. But the Pirates have been a good trade partner with the Yankees, but still, this is Brian Reynolds. And, It's going to cause buku. So, Gleyber and vomit. Yankee fan 2020. Yeah, I mean, obviously they're going to have it. I think they're going to be trading Voit in short time. And I think Gleyber will be moved if they have, if they're in a mood to get some pitching back or whatnot. And I think they'll be moved. Cheesemaker, I don't know. The 4. I mean, it's up in the air right now. That's why I think they should get another starter, at least one. I mean, don't forget Tyon. Tyon will probably be the 5 right now, Cheesemaker. And apparently he's ahead of schedule in his rehab. So we'll see. But they still need more pitching depth one way or another. They don't extend Judge. Got to trade. Well, Judge is he set a deadline today. He said once the season starts, he's not talking about an extension. So I would make him an offer before the season starts. And if he says no, you trade him immediately. Immediately. He cannot veto any trades. So he's an arbitration player. They don't have the power to veto trades. I would trade Judge if they can't sign him. Yeah, immediately. And get a haul back for him. Yep. Yes, I would not hesitate. Not even a little bit. So, he can get a haul similar to what Matt Olson got. So that's something that you have to consider. You have to consider, especially if he says no to an extension. Would I trade Voit and Gleyber from Montez? Oh, yeah, in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. Yep. Montez is my first pick over Manaea, but one or the other would be good there. We need a clear number 2 behind Garrett Cole. I don't trust Severino just yet because of his ability. He hasn't been able to stay healthy. He's missed like 2.5 years of his 4-year extension. So when Tommy John had a groin injury, so I worry about him staying healthy. Talent through the roof, but he hasn't been able to stay healthy. Taz, well, God, I appreciate that. Thank you so much for the super tattoo, man. Manaea for Voit and Andujar. I would do that. Miggy and Voit needs to share time and Cedric Mullins. Cedric Mullins. I mean, if you can get Cedric, it's going to cost a lot, especially since he's in division. You're going to have to give up Jason Dominguez for him. I don't see a scenario where you get Mullins without him, and then a bunch of other guys too. Especially since they're an AL East team, you're just going to have to pay more. So, but Mullins would be, be wonderful here. Wonderful. It would have to be considered. If he's made available, you got to go out there and make a good offer. Be kind of foolish not to. Business for Liberty. Thank you so much for the super chat, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate all you guys, your generosity. What's the best player you see the Cubs getting next? Do great work, bro. Spending a little on check here. No, I appreciate it. I'll check my email today. I appreciate that, man. I could actually see them getting Nick Castellanos. I really could. To complement, I can see Nick Castellanos go a couple of teams, the Nationals and the Cubs. But if the Cubs got him, that would change things. And I see their willingness to spend. In fact, they can get a Castellanos and Seiya Suzuki for the price it would have cost to get Kris Bryant alone. So 2 for those guys, yeah. And they've already boosted the pitching, added to the bullpen. So if you bring in a big bat like that, I could see him going there, and he would look. He would play well there. That'd be a nice combo. It really would. You still have Hayward there as a veteran. Have some other guys, Ian Happ and some younger dudes. But to me, he would be a perfect one right there. Business. What do you think? Do you think he'd be a good fit there? And thank you again, man. And I'll check my email. Lori C. What's happening? Who would not trade? Who would I not trade? I would not trade Cole. I wouldn't trade Stanton. And there are a couple other guys, relievers. I wouldn't trade Montgomery. A couple other ones. Not many. But Cole, there's no way in the world I'm going to trade him. I thought I read the other day the first time extend Judge before the season. Well, they're talking right now, so that's the plan. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Is Hickey good? I don't think so, Lori. See, they've already said they're going to platoon him with Ben Rortvedt. And I got MLB TV on here. No, that's old news. And we're doing a free agent tracker, so if anything pops out, I'm going to notify you right away. They're gonna rotate the 2, Lori C, right now, and then unless they trade for Sean Murphy or Carson Kelly from the Diamondbacks or somebody like that, that's what's gonna stay. That's what's gonna stay. Peter Minetti, Volpe, Dominguez, Loaizaga. I would never do that. Me personally, I would never do that. for Brian Reynolds. I would do that for probably Juan Soto, but not Reynolds. But the package will cost up there. You got that right. I just wouldn't do it, me personally. The team might do it, but I wouldn't. As much as I love Brian Reynolds. Odds they get a starting pitcher, in my opinion, pretty high, greater than 50%. Mr. Coconuts is in the house. Leslie Anderson. Braves are having, yes, they are. They're doing what they need to do to try to repeat. Yes, they are. So, Mullins reminds me of Young Griffey. Yes, he does. Mullins is a great player. He's a superstar. Yes, he was Businesses for Liberty. He'd be a good reunion guy. I mean, he's in his prime right now. I think they get a lot of good years out of him. He'd be the guy to go after, in my opinion, Businesses. He really would. He really would. Story back to the Rock. I will keep an eye out on the Angels. Keep an eye out for the Angels. And if Correa goes elsewhere, keep an eye out for the Astros. But Astros, I think, and the Angels on the two teams I think would be the best fits for Trevor Story. Angels need another bat and another guy in that lineup. And they haven't really spent anything, so let's see. Will Stanton do better without Judge? Sub-Zero? Yeah, I mean, I don't think he would do worse. He's surrounded by plenty of guys, and who knows what we'd get back for Judge. Depending on where they trade him, they can get a good amount back. So, they would get somebody who would probably complement Stanton at the very least. What's the most realistic spot for Freeman? Dodgers at this point. Padres could do it, but I think the Dodgers is the most. They have the opening and they have the interest, and it's just it seems right. And I think at the end of the day, they'll probably give him the 6th year that he wants. Do I think the Yankees will get Michael Conforto starting pitching at this? Starting pitching to me is the next logical move. They need a number 2. They don't have one, so they have to do that. If Stanton stays healthy between 35 and 40, I can say around their Sub-Zero, and that would be totally fine. Totally fine. Voit and Torres need to be traded for pitching. Yes, I agree 100%, Cheesemaker. Problem with Gleyber is his trade value is way. Yeah, I mean, he's playing well right now in spring training, but if you package him with some other guys, like Voigt's tearing the cover off the ball right now, and I'm sure he's pretty pissed now that they brought Rizzo back. So, I mean, I could see him going on a revenge tour if he gets traded. But if Voit will add value to Torres, and again, you'd have to package them with other prospects to get somebody legit. But they have 3 controllable years, and controllable years is also valuable for teams that don't like spending. So, like the A's and like some other teams. So, will Judge even be able to play home games? Not right now, Ola. Not right now. And unfortunately, that's Jared Miller's in the house. When and what do you think the Yankees' next move? Aaron, I think the next move happens in probably the next 24 hours. I think it's a pitcher. It's the most necessary piece for me that they need. A number 2 right behind Garrett Cole to go, between him and the rest of the rotation, because it's essentially him and a bunch of number 3s and 4s. I like Severino. Severino's got crazy upside, but he can't stay healthy. So that's the problem. And like I said, I've started him in long relief and let him build up towards the rotation. Him and Nestor Cortez, Michael King, let them be the swing guys now. And if one of them stays healthy and keeps building, you put him in the rotation. But that's what I would do. But pitching to me is the most important need right now. Anthony Medina's in the house. How you doing, man? If we want to trade the A's, we need to get a 3rd team involved because they don't want Gleyber or Voit, Brett Olson. You might be right. They might just have to do a full prospect thing. So, you might have to be that in order for it to not be a 3-team thing. But, I mean, if you can involve somebody, you can involve the Miami Marlins might be a good fit to 3-team it. The Hawaiian Hustles. But, yeah. I have a John Sterling homer. It's Iron Fire and it's gone. The Hawaiian Hustles. I like that, Quinn. I like that Sterling call. I like it, man. I'm actually relatively excited about kind of Falefa. So, and I'm pretty excited. He's, and again, him and Donaldson and Rizzo, they are low strikeout guys. So that's one of the biggest problems the Yankees had last year and the last couple of years was striking out way too much. So this improves the plate discipline and goes right into the Dylan Lawson philosophy of getting guys that are going to work the counts and swing at good pitches and avoid bad pitches. So it goes right into you getting more disciplined hitters. And I guess analytics had a big role in that trade with Minnesota because of those things. So they're getting, better defense right across the board, and they're getting hustle, and they're getting they're getting an attitude back that we haven't had. Like Josh Donaldson, to me, he's a guy that gets he's not afraid to fight, thrown out of games. He reminds you like a Darryl Strawberry when they had that brawl with Baltimore, when Armando Benitez hit Tino Martinez, and like Strawberry went out there was standing up for his teammates and kicking the shit out of people. Excuse my French, but like he brings that type of attitude and that feistiness to the team that they haven't had, or they might have and don't show. And to me, I like that. I think it was. He'll light a fire under some guys' asses, and I think that's necessary. Necessary. Somebody said Cole. What? Trying to go back here a little bit. Legit Cole only struggled in September. Yeah, Cole had a hamstring issue. He also got COVID. COVID affects your endurance. So, and then like the sticky stuff only lasted like one game for him. And then he struck out 15 or 14 Astros and he dominated him like 2 games after the whole thing. So I'm not really worried about Cole right now. He's healthy again. So, and they've confirmed that. So I'm not worried about him. I'm worried about the other starters. So, and they shouldn't have pitched him if he wasn't 100%. They shouldn't have pitched him, but they had to go with their dog. He didn't want to not pitch. So it didn't work out, but he wasn't the only reason that they lost to Boston. They didn't hit. They got to hit too if the pitcher's not pitching. They didn't do that. So the bats fell asleep. So it was a team crap effort. And IKF, yeah, he does remind me of Jeter a little bit too. He hustles a lot too, and that's one of the things that reminds me of Jeter. Jeter hustled all the time. So, well, that'll the time full. Updates right now is they're discussing a trade with Oakland for one of their pitchers, Frankie Montez or Sean Manaea, or maybe both. But I'm guessing just one. Joey Gallo. I do not know. Nelson. Well, like a facial twitch? Yeah, I know that. He's got like this kind of crazy mannerism. So, but I think he's going to be better this year. Yeah, the non-vax guys can't enter Canada to play the Jays either. That's right. For Canada vaccination policy. So, Ben Weiner, thanks so much, man. Who's my surprise team to be good this year, and who's my surprise team to be bad? Surprise team to be good that hasn't been good is probably the Royals. Surprise team to be bad, the Angels. Like worse than before. I don't know why, but those are my guesses. All Toronto players are vaxxed. I'm assuming so. Yeah, I'm assuming so. Gallo has Tourette's. Those aren't many. He might have Tourette's, maybe. Who do I prefer, Montez or Manaea? Montez. He's got 2 years. Manaea has 1. He's just a little bit of a better pitcher. And I would love to get Montez here. I think Gallo will be productive. And I think he's going to be pretty good. Yeah, Brett Olson. I was going to think about the Mets because a lot of people are under the impression that all the moves that they made that it's automatically just they're gonna win everything and blah blah blah. They're gonna have trouble. They're gonna have a hard time with the Braves still, and probably the Phillies too. So I wouldn't give the Mets hand them just anything, and I wouldn't say the Yankees are gonna suck either. They did get better, and the division has obviously gotten better a little bit, but the only team that's gotten to me significantly better to a degree is Toronto, and otherwise, they added here and there the Rays and the Red Sox, but nothing significant. So Yankees signed Trevor Story. If you can get him for 5 years, $55 million, the Yankees would have to make that work. You have to. Yeah, Montez is better. Yeah, Ray. He's just a more solid pitcher. And the Yankees like power arms, and he's a power arm. So, Yankees are addicted to power arms. Jays on paper, best team in baseball. One of them, top 3, but they have to change. That's got to be. They got to perform too. All that depth doesn't mean anything if these guys don't perform. They don't stay healthy. So to pair it to the Cardinals, I can see Montez does have higher upside too. Do you think the Yankees in Metro we should compromise with the city to let their unvaxxed players play? I mean, even unvaxxed visiting players are allowed to play. I don't know, man. I mean, it's the mayor's going to have to. One of the problems is the mayor just reopened everything, and then drastically, and there was a bunch of upticks, and the numbers are back up in New York now because of it. So they're going to have to get him back down and keep him down before they even consider that. But again, whatever their decision is, their personal choice. But people had 2 years to get vaccinated, so I don't buy the excuse, and I don't buy religious exemption. There's no such thing as religious exemption. So unless you have a medical exemption, fine. If that's a legitimate, fine. But I don't buy the other arguments. So I just don't. But again, it's their choice, right? It's their choice, their body. But I hate people saying that and they don't apply the same standard to women. So I that's a non-credible argument to me either. So we can keep that propaganda out of here. But I hope they're able to play at some point. So, and you're right, Brett. It's ridiculous that Kyrie can't be at the game but not play. Yeah, it's. But again, he hasn't given a credible argument as to why he's not vaxxed. So I mean, that's him, not my business. So, Judge. What's the Judge at Emerson? Yeah, I wouldn't sleep on the Phillies yet, Mets fans. I wouldn't sleep on them just yet. I mean, they got Schwarber today. I don't think they're done. Dave Dombrowski's a bold-ass GM, so. And Tyler Talbot. It can't happen anymore, but this was the trade idea. Had Votto and Castillo. Reds get Schmidt, Pereira, Torres. Wait, Wisniewski. Yeah. I mean, it can happen. Castillo and Votto are there still, so it can. But although, I mean, with Rizzo, no. Yeah, I mean, let's switch Votto. How about Castillo and Luis Sessa? Let's try to get Luis Sessa back here. I would love to get them back. FJ, appreciate it, man. What do you think of that, Tyler? Thank you for the Zona Super Chat, by the way. I appreciate that. I would love to see the Yanks get one of the Oakland starters. Yeah. The old Owl Man. Would I trade Volpe, Voit, and Garcia for Jose? Oh, man. That's a tough one, Owl Man. I would not trade Volpe for somebody with only 2 years of two controllable years. Ramirez is an absolute stud superstar, but he only has 2 controllable years. And to me, I'm not giving up my number 1 prospect for somebody with 2 years. It's not enough. It's not enough. Dominguez, I would consider it to get Jose Ramirez. Volpe, I would not. I mean, I hope they don't have to move Volpe or Dominguez, but I understand Jose Ramirez. I mean, he's a special player. I mean, he really is. There's no denying it. So, yeah, Chop. I don't know when people are, talking about. People are just curious about the vaccination stuff. So, it's crazy. But it is what it is, man. This stuff could have been avoided a long time ago, but it's still around. People just keep talking about it, unfortunately. Honest forecast of this year, Brian, I don't think Cashman's done. And I can't, personally, I don't want to give an honest forecast until he's done. Because my forecast will be different if he brings in an ace pitcher or something like that. If he makes another move. And I see him doing that stuff. So, I really do. I think Judge is using his vaccine status as a way to negotiate a longer deal. It'd be a terrible negotiating point. I want you to pay me a boatload of money, but I'm only going to play half the games. Yeah. He's shooting himself in the foot. If that's a negotiating tactics, Drew Phillips. The Mets have 6 or 7 stars. I think they're going to wind up needing him. But it is what it is. Yeah, let's keep the vaccines are for losers stuff out of here. Rafael Castro, please. I'm trying to avoid this propaganda stuff. People are just protecting themselves, man. Everybody is entitled to their opinion. I get that and all this stuff, but at the end of the day, like, propaganda is not opinion. 7-year, $250 million. We don't have to worry about him during the season. Ooh, that's a. I think he's going to wind up costing probably around that. 7 years. What team had more talent in 2017? Ooh. Close, Kyle. I think that 2017 overperformed, and I think this team right now is more high end. I think, but if they get another pitcher, then I think this team is more talented. But that team definitely outperformed their expectations. It's a tough one though, Kyle Hancock, but that's a good comparison. Brian Holbrook, Aaron Judge is not that. I mean, he's good when he's healthy. He really is. Tyler Talbot, insane day of free agency, absolutely insane. So Yanks have a nice offer on the table for Story. What's the offer? And do you have confirmation of that? Johnny Cueto to the Yankees 1 year 12. I'd rather spend it on one of the A's pitchers. Cueto, I think, is way over the hill, in my opinion. But yeah, let's keep the politics. I mean, I understand it's a touchy subject, but there's other baseball channels that love talking political propaganda. I generally don't like it. So if you don't mind, let's keep it out of here because it turns off a lot of people. Let's not attack each other. People have their opinions and they're fun. That's fine, but like, let's not attack people here. That's not what it's. This we're talking about Yankees here in baseball, man. Regardless of the vaccination option, well, it's there to protect people. So that's all I can say about that. So Richard Rodriguez to the Cardinals, maybe to the Cardinals. He wouldn't be a bad option here either. So when the Yankees got California, got Donaldson, I was thinking they weren't going to get a first baseman because of LeMay, but they got Rizzo. So where do you put LeMay? Right now, second, because I think they're going to wind up trading Gleyber Torres. If they don't trade Gleyber Torres, then I think Gleyber Torres plays second and DJ super utility, first, third, and second. He'll still play plenty. He'll give those guys a break on occasion, keep Donaldson healthy, keep Rizzo healthy, keep Torres healthy, and he'll still play 120, 130, 140 games. So they can make that work. They can make that work. Johnny Cueto's a legend. Okay. Got a Johnny Cueto fan in here. All right, that's cool. Do I think the prospects are going to turn into? I mean, there's no guarantee, ever with prospects, but I think a couple of these guys are going to pan out. They have a lot of depth in certain positions, and I think it's going to pan off well. And I think they're being wise, not just dumping them for people and stuff like that. But like, I would have given a good package for Matt Olson, and sign him for that contract that he signed, even though it would cost more here because of New York tax and being more expensive. But the Braves got him for a steal, man, a steal. But I do think some of them are going to turn out good, disgruntled. Do I think we need a catcher? Who would you go for? The only two catchers I would go for would be Sean Murphy or Carson Kelly from the Diamondbacks. There's a couple of prospects I think they should bring, but I like this fact that they just brought in this kid, Brent Rortvedt. He's 24 years old. He hits lefty. He's a really good defender. So the only way if they brought in a starter, I would move on from Higashioka and try to trade him and keep the kid Rortvedt just to get younger and more athletic. And he's a lefty hitter, but it's not a bad platoon between the two. I think they got better moving on from Sanchez. And, his offensive upside is not the same as Sanchez, but the pitchers didn't want to throw to him. And that's a problem. So that's a problem. Other than Judge, who else in the Yankees? I have no idea. I mean, Rizzo was last year. I'm not sure if he got it now, but he had a medical exemption too. So I don't know because he's being a cancer survivor. So it's a little bit different. So, and I understand that, but I don't know. But they already acknowledged, I think it was Boone and Cashman, that they have a couple that are unvaccinated. So when the Yanks who do the Yankees got to give them a month? Probably gonna have to give up Luis Hill and Oswald Peraza. I would say those two to get Montez and maybe one more prospect, maybe. But that's the kind of a price you have to give up the same for like a Luis Castillo. Yeah, I mean Rizzo's a leader, just like Freddie Freeman. He's a great teammate. He's a good defender. So is DJ. Good, solid veterans, and not every position needs to be flashy, and not every it doesn't need to be. Not everybody needs to be Juan Soto and Vlad Guerrero and stuff like that. Would it be nice to have? Sure, but when the Yankees were at their best, like the 1998 team, they didn't have any super duper stars in that team. They had a lot of really, really good players. And, nobody was like a uber duper duper star. They had just a really, really good team that was relentless and hated losing. That's the type of attitude that we need here. So, is it possible the Tigers trade for Montez Orman? Yeah, it is. Austin, it is possible. Yeah, another starter there. They have a lot of young potential, stud starters. So, but it's definitely possible. It's definitely possible. So, wondering how a trade for Contreras and Hendricks from the Cubs could look like. It won't. I don't think it'll cost as much for as it would for Montez or something like that. Contreras has 1 year left before he's a free agent. Hendricks, I think, might have 1 or 2 years left. So, a couple of solid prospects. You might be able to get Voit or Torres over there, but I don't think it's going to cost as much as it would for Montez. Peraza, Glaber, Gale from Montez. Peraza, Glaber, Hill for Montez, Manet, and Murphy. It'll cost more than Peraza, Glaber, and Hill and a Krug to get those three. But there's any way you can do it. I would definitely do it. I don't think they would take that though. Can we get the Marlins pitchers? I think Pablo Lopez is the guy to try to get. He's got 3 years of control. He's a solid, really solid starter. And I mentioned him as being one of the good trade partners. So, I would definitely be talking to Miami if possible. What's going to happen to Glaber? Because I want to start DJ over Measley. So I think if they get a pitcher, I have a feeling he's going to wind up being traded. If not, they'll probably start him and put DJ as a super utility guy. That'd be my guess. And DJ will still play as many games. So I played between third and second and first. And again, give some of the veterans a break. That's my guess. Why are these deals taking so long, spring training? Peter DeLuca, well, I think it's a combination thing. Players wanting to work to feel out the market. Scott Boras' clients always stretch this freaking thing out. And in terms of New York players, I think vaccination status probably comes into play here because, is a player going to come here if he's only going to be able to play half the games? He's going to get paid for half the I'm guessing that is part of the decision-making process. I can't confirm that, but with all the stuff that's going on, the fact that people are, so fired up about it and pissed off about it, but I'm guessing that's part of the process. Ryan Beck, what's happening, man? Good word, man. What's good? Donaldson's a 25 ADR. Yeah, I do too. I do too. And that to me, I'm totally fine with that. With good defense, I'm good. I think DJ's the best overall. James. Yeah, I agree. And I think adding kind of Falefa complements him really well. Kalefa's he gets a lot of hits and he steals bases. He stole like 20 something last year. So them at 1-2 would be an ideal scenario for me, in my opinion. And then you can put the big bats behind them. So how do I feel about the Red Sox? I think they're good. I mean, they got an unfortunate break today. Chris Sale has a stress fracture in his rib, so he's going to be missing a little bit of time. So it's a break, for Yankees and some other teams, an unfortunate situation for them. So, but don't be surprised if they get a pitcher. Don't be surprised. Am I happy with the Rizzo contract? Yeah, they got him on. He turned down $70 million from the Cubs, and the Yankees just got him for 32 with an opt-out after this year. I'll take that. I mean, Freeman's going to cost 5 times the amount at the same age. What are the Yankees? I think Luke Voit gets traded in the next day or two, probably by the end of the week at least. How Cole and Donaldson going to worry? And they already squashed it. Donaldson went up to him, squashed it, apologized to him, and stuff like that. And Cole said, "Look, he's going to be fine. They're adults. Their goal to win is the World Series." So they put that stuff aside, the petty stuff, and they go and they try to win. And even Josh Johnson was like, I'm glad I'm here so I don't have to strike out against Cole anymore because Cole owned him. So, and I think, but he's the type of guy that lights a fire under his teammates' ass. And I think certain guys need a fire lit under their ass on the Yankees. So, and love him or hate him, but he's going to make this team better. Donaldson. Oh, yeah. Michael Rackett. Yeah. Yeah. He might be out 6 to 8 weeks. That's a rib. I mean, the torque, torquing of the body, especially he's got this crazy torquing. He might take longer to recover. So, yeah, I saw that. Well, that's great. So that they can trade Hicks. That's fantastic, man. The Rays offered Freddie Freeman 6-year, 140 mil. Then he declined. I think he'll go to the Dodgers. Yeah, I think he'll get more from the Dodgers. Oswald Peraza, I think he'll be ready. Yeah, I do. And we do need Judge to play a lot more than 70. Yeah, but I mean that's his decision. So his decision. And these guys know these things, so Sale's out. Yeah, he'll be out for a little bit. Herman, I think it's also something with the lower back or the oblique. It might have been the oblique or something like that for Herman. So yeah, but thankfully Tyone's ahead of schedule, so he'll be okay, which will be nice. No, yes, Daily Dose, Colin Down, exactly. They want the same thing. They want to win. They might not like each other, but they'll appreciate one. Exactly. If they make each other better, that's all that matters. They make the team better. That's all that matters. And they will both make the team better. So, Duke. I want Duke to go out on top for Coach K, Lorenzo. Just to give him his last title. He's for retiring and just, the sentimental favorite for him. Trade for Cody Bellinger? Maybe, but where's he going to play? Cody Bellinger, that's the thing. Where's he going to play? Zach. I wanted Eddie Rosario too. I talked about him quite a bit, but Braves were smart by bringing him back. My favorite player, my favorite pitcher right now is Garrett Cole. Favorite player right now in the game, I'm going to say, Brian Reynolds is one of them. And Trout. But I have a special, affection for Giancarlo Stanton too, because he's come here, shut up the critics, kept his mouth shut. He's played hard, answered all the hard questions, takes the hit, defends his teammates. So I have a special place in my heart for Giancarlo Stanton too. And he's money in the postseason for the Yankees. Absolutely money. Liam Hardy, what do I think of the Jays? They scare me. They're going to be good. And if they get Jose Ramirez, they're going to terrify me. Absolutely terrify me. Oh. Yeah, I think Olson's going to be really, really good in Atlanta, Joe Reese. Really, really good. There's a shot Freeman goes to the Red Sox now that Schwarber's not going back. But they have their number one prospect as a first baseman. So as far as I know, and I don't know if they're gonna spend that money on Freeman and trade that top kid, the number one, for a pitcher, because what pitcher out there is going to be worth their number one prospect is the question. And that's the thing that's available. So I see Freeman going to the Dodgers one way or another. Juan Soto, I think he's going to get between $400 and $500 million when he's a free agent. Yes, and Miami is paying. Yeah, they're still paying like $5 million per year. So it's, it's nice. Keita Marte and Zach Gallen will be great, but we just found out Zach Gallen has a shoulder problem. So that kind of takes him out of the equation, in my opinion. PMA Deegan 21. Unfortunately. Because I like him. No. How did the Yankees somehow get less fast and athletic? I'm guessing probably some analytics, and there's a lot of obsession here with the home runs and the power and all this stuff. And I get it. It's it's nice, but having some guys, having some good role players and some fast guys always comes in handy. And they got rid of all their fast athletic guys, so they haven't brought in many this offseason yet. So I still think they need to bring in guys like that. Heard rumors we trade Torres and Voit in a deal for Murphy and Manea. It's going to cost. Would I want it to happen next year? Right? Yeah, it's not gonna. It's going to cost more than those two guys. A lot more. So Soto definitely gets more than Trout. Yes. Conforto for left field. Well, we have Stanton in left field. Then we have Judge and right. Stanton's going to play some. Stanton will play a decent amount of outfield because that's how he plays better. Backstage is back. Oh. Where do I get my latest rumors and trade? Well, I mean, I get all the reporting. I wait for confirmation of him to happen first before I put out a video. I don't put out breaking news. This one's pursuing, because that's not breaking news. To me, breaking news is when somebody actually reaches agreement and signs. And I wait for it to corroborate from multiple sources, whether it be Passon, some of the top guys, Jack Curry, a lot of the big ones, Ken Rosenthal. And then I wait for confirmation on a website like ESPN and WeTradeRumors.com before I put it out. So, and I look through Twitter and a lot of things, and that's where a lot of these people break news. So, but I still wait for it to get corroborated from multiple sources before I put it out. So, what I think about Josh Donaldson, I think Gio. Donaldson to me is an upgrade. Better offense and just as good defense. So, but don't get me wrong, I miss Gio. Backstage, never apologize for chilling with the girls. Never keep a good girl waiting, a good woman waiting, man. If they want to hang out with you, that's a good thing, bro. So, never apologize for that. Who's our closer this year? It'll be Chapman, but if somebody takes it away from it, it'll be Johnny Lasagna. And if Chapman gets traded somehow, it'll be Johnny Lasagna. But I mean, Sean Murphy's going to cost a boatload. So I would platoon these guys and then still try to beef up the catching arsenal and drafts and other guys. And the Yankees need to do better drafting catchers. So Donaldson questions. And yeah, he's got injury issues, but then you can move DJ to third if that happens. And that's why somebody like Jonathan Villar would become in handy, because he plays multiple position. Oh, I know, Hirsch. No doubt, man. Multiple position guy will come in handy. A's are trying to think. Yeah, that's what I think. I mean, if they take Voit, who they don't have an option to cover Olson right now. Voit costs a hell of a lot less than Olson, but you're still gonna have to add a lot of prospects one way or another. So for Oakland, but I think it'll be a heavier prospect package than a player package. So yeah, I saw that photo of them too. Gio didn't look very happy backstage. Sanchez looked okay, but it was kind of weird seeing him in the Twins uniform the next day. Johnny Lasagna, yeah, it's awesome. I love the name. That's the case. Who pitches the? We have Clay Holmes. You got Stephen Ridings. You got Chad Green. They have a lot of guys, a lot of bullpen depth. I mean, I like Michael Conforto. I just don't know where he fits here, James. Where he fits and who's he gonna replace? Unless they move Hicks, which I don't see them doing. I mean, who's he gonna replace is my main question. So, older vibe of the clubhouse feels like everyone San Glabers as well. Yeah, and it's going to be, more disciplined and more focused, with guys like Donaldson now and some of these other guys. I mean, kind of Fleff is young. He's 26. So, but he's a hustle. He hustles. He's known for his hustle. And these are the types of guys that they need to bring in. I was happy that they brought him in. And I was happy that Cashman acknowledged that they needed to bring some guys with edge here. He was tired of the kind of lack of focus and lack of hustle. That's one reason they moved on from Sanchez. So, and, got to bring in some guys that are going to subscribe to this new Yankee mindset, which I think is important. So, which starting pitcher should the Yankees get? I mean, Frankie Montez or Luis Castillo, in my opinion, would be ideal. Trade for Gary Sanchez, give them Brett Gardner and Luke Voit. Yeah, Dwayne. Wandy Peralta, yes, Ryan Beck, exactly. They have a lot of guys. They have a good bullpen depth. And they also brought in Jimmy Cordero. He's a hard-throwing ground ball artist. And they brought in some other guys. So they always bring in somebody who will be a contributor to the bullpen. I think Cordero will be a contributor. And they might still bring in somebody via free agency too. But they have plenty of depth to move on from Chapman, even to Britton, because Britton's going to miss the whole entire year. So Cincinnati have an interest in Voit. Maybe. I mean, I would look into it totally, 100%. I would 100%. Yeah, almost at 10K subscribers. I can't believe it, man. I can't believe it backstage. And I'll talk to you about thumbs. How Steinbrenner is clueless around baseball. What championship process should look like? He believes spending. Okay. Yeah, I don't think Hal Steinbrenner is the greatest owner. So, he knows how to turn it profitable. Yeah, but I think to modernize his team, you might need to move on from Cashman at some point too. So, and I do think Cashman's probably in the hot seat, even if he's friends with Hal. I mean, in all honesty, Yankees are not going to give up their first round pick to the Mets for Michael Conforto. They won't have to anymore, Al, man. Qualifying offer is they don't have to. And I wouldn't anyway. Not for Conforto. Correa to Baltimore 1 year deal, $28 million. I think it'll cost more than that for 1 year. Austin Meadows, maybe a decent option. I don't know if Tampa will do it, but Ron Duffney, what's happening, my man? HH, yeah, it's got to be starting pitching. HJKDH, HHDH. It's got to be starting pitching. The next move. Give Volpe a shot and shortstop Luis Hill another. I think Hill should be competing for the 5th starting spot. Yes, he should be competing unless they move him for a front liner. Volpe, I don't think he's ready. He's not ready yet. I don't want to put him up here. I think he needs another year. But if he develops quicker, then he develops quicker. Then he can force his way on this roster, like Soto did, like Vlagaro did. It's just not there yet. But he looks really good. 400 watching, 200 likes. Yeah. If you guys don't mind, if you haven't hit the like button, please do so. I want to try to get it up again. Close to that 400 mark. That would be wonderful. It's greatly appreciated, guys. Really helpful. It's really helpful to the channel too. Hill has to be in the rotation. I mean, I would give him a chance if he's healthy, and I would give him a chance. And Volpe will be in spring. Yeah, he's there. I mean, Dominguez is there. All those guys are there. So Yankees won that one. I don't know about 4Ds. I think they might be able to win one with him here. I mean, they have $100+ million coming off the books in the next 4 years. At least, I think it's 40 in the next year because you have Chapman coming off, you have Britt coming off, and some other guys. So they'll be able to spend, and they'll be able to get themselves under the thresholds, and it's they're in a pretty good position, even if they go higher this year. We'll take the 1 year hit, and then that salary will drop down quite a bit. And KRIS, man, thanks for coming by. The infusion and some prospects coming over the next couple of years will kind of balance out that, neutralize the payroll too. So says the word, so every sentence he speaks. It's annoying. What is that, Anthony? I say the word, so every sentence I speak is annoying. What does that mean? What I recommend is the next GM if Cashman goes. I mean, I would throw the wallet and the bank at Theo Epstein. Cash for Phelps for Buhner. Oh my god. Oh god. Yeah. Do I think the Reds would accept Voit, Glaber, Andujar, and a prospect for Castillo? Probably. I mean, probably. J Luck, I'm looking into merch, hoodies. I'm looking at maybe some hats, some t-shirts. I did say once I get to 10K subscribers, I'm going to start really, diving into merch. So if there's any merch, of interest, you guys let me know what type of merch you want me to have, and I'll see if I can make it happen. I'm not surprised Sanchez was traded, Ron, but I'm surprised he was traded to the Twins. I didn't think he was going to be traded to the Twins. I thought it might have been moved to the National League to be a DH for, in a package for some pitching or something. But the Reds did say today they won't be trading Castillo. So now, again, if you give them, an offer that they can't refuse, you do Vito Corleone, make them an offer you can't refuse, then they'll probably move him. So, but we'll see. But they're already in discussions with Oakland for Montez and Manea. So I think that's probably the more realistic path for them. But yeah. Two good pitchers, man, would be fantastic. I mean, if they can get both of them, it's going to cost a lot, but that will be awesome. I think they're going to wind up with just getting one, but I've said for months, two would be better. Two would be better. Luis Hill needs to be in the round. Yeah, I mean, I want to give him every opportunity. I think they should next to MYR. And I hope he stays healthy and pitches well. And, he can make the rotation. I would still groom him accordingly. I would have a 6-man rotation for a while. So just to kind of let guys like him and some other guys kind of build their innings back up. And I think a 6-man, especially with the season and spring training being delayed, I think it'd be wise to have a 6-man rotation for a little while to let the pitchers build up their arm strength as well. Because, the condensed spring training is tougher on pitchers. It's more dangerous on pitchers than it is on position players. So, and next year's free agent class is not as deep as this year's. Not as deep. I would have thrown a lot of Cleveland for Bieber. Oh, yeah, I mean, so would I. Ryan Sam, 100%. Cole, Bieber, and Severino would be crazy. It'd be a nasty 3. A really nasty 3. Hill should get every opportunity to start. He pitched well when he was here. They need to keep him up here and not send him down. No more the service time manipulation garbage. So, corresponding roster move. No, it hasn't been. They're still at 41. Let's go, Jill. So I expect some guys to be traded. I mean, Voit and a couple other guys expect them to be traded because they're going to have to hit 40 by the time the season starts. So, and they will. Any other left-handers you'd be willing to trade for besides Manea? Big Drake, that's a good question. There's one of them from the Marlins. I forgot his name. I'm not sure if it's Trevor Rogers. If it's him, it would cost a ton. But one of those Marlins pitchers would be the other guy, I think. That's probably the guy I would go for. Horrible pitching prospect. Yeah, they've been terrible at developing starting pitchers, disgruntled for a decade plus. Great at developing relievers and position players. Terrible at developing starting pitchers and catchers. They need to get better at that. Can we trade for Pittsburgh? That's Brian Reynolds, Captain Midnight. He could, but it's going to cost more. I mean, and if you haven't heard, for Matt Olson alone, the A's wanted Volpe, Dominguez, and Oswald Peraza. They're 1, 2, and 3 prospects minimum for Olson. Reynolds would cost more than that, which would be nuts. So, would be absolutely nuts. Sandy Alcantara. I don't think he's lefty. I think he's righty, but he'd be a good one too. He'd be a good one. Cole, Montez, Manea. Do you think that's the best read? That would be right up there. If they got both of them, that would be right up there. Thinking of Jordans, absolutely up there. And again, if there's a way, and that's what I mean, Angel. I'm not. Trevor Rogers is probably ungettable, but he'd be the guy I would go for and try. But I think he's ungettable at this point. But he's a lefty beast, so he's the guy. Bumgarner, I wouldn't go after him. Taking a shot with Bauer for a salary dump. Well, we would be taking the salary, Carl, not giving it away. But I don't know. I don't know if. I would wait for him to be released if he gets released, and then you can bring him on for the minimum. HJKDHHDH. Thank you so much for the generous dono. I appreciate that. Very generous of you. Your support's really greatly appreciated. What's my trade-off for Montez and Murphy? Hill, Peraza, Torres, probably Everson Pereira, and another pitching prospect. Probably something like that. Yoandris Gomez or something like that. He's the number 10 prospect, a pitcher. I think that's probably what it would cost. At least 5 guys. At least, Chris G. Where do I think the Yankees will finish in the? If they get another pitcher, I think they'll make the playoffs. And Higashioka is actually gonna rotate or platoon between him and Ben Rortvedt. So he won't be the primary, at least as far as I know. and they'll be rotating back and forth. Ryan Beck, yeah. Only bring Gardner back if Cashman signs a deal promising to play 4 if Hicks gets hurt. I know. Oh, it's crazy. What's it going to take for the 2 pitchers on the A's and to both of them and Murphy? A lot. I mean, just for Murphy and Montez alone, I just brought up like 5 guys. It would cost them probably 7 players and prospects, and it'll be mostly prospects. Torres will definitely be. I mean, if they can move Voit and Torres, that would be fantastic. And then 5 other prospects if they can do that, because they would only be picking up maybe $10 million, and they'd be getting rid of probably almost 20. So it would be a net savings for the Oakland A's for a couple of years, and then we get obviously 5 more prospects on top of that. That's kind of what I would do. But if there's any way you can get both of them and Murphy, that'd be a huge trade that you kind of have to consider, especially if it doesn't cost Dominguez and Volpe. You have to. Why is I was thinking about this earlier, Baby Yoda. To me, obviously he's going to enjoy some padded offensive stats being in Colorado, but like they must have told, because their farm sucks. Okay, they must have told him they're going to spend a lot in free agency over the next couple of years and in trades to kind of beef up that lineup to build around him. That's the only thing I can think of, and obviously those inflated numbers might put him on a Hall of Fame path. So that's the other thing, and maybe they offered him more than the Phillies were offering him. He was down to the Phillies and the Rockies the last couple of days, so maybe the Phillies didn't give him enough. And I'm surprised because he's one of Bryce Harper's best friends, and the Phillies are much closer to contending than the Rockies were. So I am surprised. And yeah, Sale being hurt does help. We get another good start. I think we'll win I agree, Ryan. I think we could beat Toronto. If you get a Montez, I think they can beat Toronto. Toronto's going to be tough, though. Tough, but I think that they've gotten better this offseason. And you don't need all the sexy names to get better. There's no guarantee that Toronto's going to clean the clock on everybody either. They have to stay healthy. So there's no guarantee the Mets are going to win everything. You have to stay healthy. So, and that's the other thing. Can't win the World Series in the offseason. You got to win it. You got to perform no matter what happens. What do I think the Yankees rotation is starting with? Rotation, Cole, one of these A's pitchers, let's just say Montez and Severino. You got Montgomery, and probably Taillon with Hill on working his way in there too. That's kind of the way I see the lineup. I would do kind of for left for leading off, then DJ at second, Judge at third, probably Donaldson cleanup. Stanton 5th, Rizzo 6th, Gallo 7th, something like that. And then who else is left? The catcher, Rortvedt 8th, and Hicks 9th, something like that. Or is Hicks 8th, Rortvedt 9th, somewhere around there? That'd be the way I would do it. But I would front load it with kind of for left and DJ, no matter what. Do I think Judge's contract will be extended or get a new one? Well, he gave them a deadline, Coolio play. He gave them a deadline. He said he won't discuss an extension once the season starts. So they have to do it in the next 2 weeks. And they're already in discussions with his agents. And my guess is that, they're going to have to make their best offer. And if he says no, you have to trade him immediately. That's it. I don't see any other scenario. Otherwise, they lose all leverage. And he could walk in free agency next year. If somebody gives him some ridiculous offer. And they get nothing in return. So you might as well get some value back. You either get the value of him signing the contract and staying, or a haul of prospects and players that you would get in return for him. Those are the only 2 things. They can't give up all their leverage. So what do I think of the Rosario signing? Yeah, it's for great value, McDizzle. I mean, I wanted him to come to the Yankees. He would have been a great option in the outfield. Cedric Mullins would be ridiculous here. Monster upgrade, but it's going to cost as much as it would, Brian Reynolds. An absolute ransom. I love Ryan Reynolds too. I really do. What do we do with players like Andujar, Herman, and Severino? Severino's going to work his way into the rotation, but I would have him as a swing man now. Herman, I don't know. I would consider moving him, and I would consider moving Andujar and get a decent value back. And it's It's crazy. It's crazy. But that's kind of what I would do. Now let's check if there's any updates. That way we can report it while we're on here. Yeah, we know Chris Sale's hurt. Let's see. Oh, John Morosi, the Dodgers and Freddie Freeman are making progress on a multi-year deal. That just popped on Twitter. So it looks like the Dodgers are going to get Freddie Freeman. And that might be reported tonight. And yeah, don't be surprised if that happens tonight. Dodgers and Freeman. It's the most logical place. John Morosi's posting this on MLB. It's all over Twitter now too, but I'm seeing that. Yeah, it hasn't happened yet. It's not done yet, but they're making progress on the deal. So, but at the end of the night, I'm guessing Freddie Freeman's going to go to the Dodgers. So, the Yankees, they don't need Murphy as much as they need pitchers. I would focus on the pitchers, Richard. So I'm with you there. Jarvis Henley, thank you so much for the donut, man. I appreciate that. Appreciate everybody's generosity. It's really, really helpful. And again, it's appreciated. The idea Freeman was going to go to Florida or Atlanta because they don't have a sales tax. Screw that. He wants, get the sales tax thing. He's going to make enough money, and the LA Dodgers are going to put him in position to win. I'm just glad that he's not going to go to Boston or Tampa or Toronto, because with Toronto, it was him going there or Jose Ramirez or both of them. Toronto scares me already. They're a great team. I would be absolutely terrified in that situation. So Dodgers are going to, he makes them better, Blake. That's 100%. I mean, they're still out, Seager, and they're out Scherzer, and there's no guarantee Bauer's going to pitch either. I mean, they did bring in Andrew Heaney, but we saw how that worked out with the Yankees. So, but Tampa, him going to Tampa Bay would have sucked. It would have really sucked. So, and I'm totally fine with Freddie in LA. I mean, we don't have to play him unless it's in an interleague series where they don't play them very often, or the World Series. So I'm not really worried. You think Cashman pulled out of the deal because he knew? Well, probably, big boy. Also money. They had a 4-year high dollar deal, but at the end of the day, Dodgers are going to pay. They're in a position to pay too. They're out a bunch of players, so, and they haven't really spent. They brought Kershaw back and Heaney, but this is the guy they need to get. The Dodgers needed Freeman more than the Yankees did, in my opinion. So Volpe looks better than the roster guys right now. Volpe looks good. Oh, Volpe looks really good. Ron Duffy, have a great night. Thank you for coming on. Can I what? Unban Ravi? What is that, Nora the Great? I don't know what that is. Murphy sucks. Why is everyone? We'll see. I mean, Sean Murphy's a good, solid game caller. And I think that's one reason why a lot of guys want him. He's got 4 years of control, too. That's another great. He's still pre-ARB. So, but this kid, Ben Rortvedt, he's 24 years old. He's young, and he's got just as many years. So I'm fine if they don't get Murphy. I would focus on the pitchers in Oakland and try to get both of them instead of Montez and Murphy. I would love Montez and Mania. But, yeah, Gallo got big. Yeah, he put on some size. Yeah, but William, I appreciate what you're saying too, and it's just, but George also had a tendency to overpay older guys too, and Freeman is 32, so I don't see a 6-year deal panning out as much as some people might. But again, I hope it ages well. Do I think the Days will pursue a trade for J Ram during the trade deadline? Imagine if they pull. I mean, that would be ridiculous if they got Jose Ramirez from the Guardians. And they have the pieces to get him. It would cost some minor league, and major league players, but they have the pieces to get him. They've been really smart with their moves right now for agency, and if they get him, I don't see it would be really, really hard for me to say any other team would win the AL East if they got him. He's a beast, an absolute beast, and he'd be worth every penny. Oh. And the Jays have the money, they have the prospects, so and they've already brought in Matt Chapman, and you bring him in, it's like you put him at second. They've been talking about it's a whole different ballgame. I do think Hicks will get hurt sometime, big boy, you're right. The Reds say they're not trading Castillo, but if they get bowled over with an offer they can't refuse, maybe that'll change. But I know they said that today. But I was surprised to me because I'm surprised that they traded Amir Garrett today. They traded him to the Royals. Amir Garrett. Why the hell would they do that? But the Royals are going to be my surprise good team because they're going to get better. So let me look here. Anything going on? No, nothing on MLB. I'm sure that'll break too if Freeman and the Dodgers come to an agreement. But George would have signed. Yeah, George is crazy. I mean, don't get me wrong. He loved his team and he did a lot more good than he did bad. But there are certain, like I personally would have traded for Matt Olson over Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman's going to cost probably the same amount of money in 6 years than Olson will cost in 8. Okay, and he's 5 years older. To me, yeah, they gave up a haul for him, but they had to. The teams that want to repeat have to do those types of moves, and they're going to be in a good position to repeat. So, but Olsen, the other, they still have Charlie Morton. Some of the moves that they made, they brought back Eddie Rosario. Don't be surprised if they bring back, Soler and some other dudes. And they're good. They're really, really good. So, but you're right. Back in Georgia would have probably done some craziness with Freeman. He would have signed Correa. The payroll would be like $360 million. So, and he wouldn't care. He wouldn't care. I could see Trevor Story come to the Cardinals too, Baby Yoda. I could see that. Not ruling out the Angels, but I could see him going to the Cards. I don't think the Jays land J Ram after the Chapman deal. Yeah, I mean, they have the pieces, McDizzle, but you might be right. I mean, adding J Ram is if any team can get him, it would make sense to it. And the Jays, to me, are one of the handful of teams that can get him. Really. Blockbuster proposal with the A's, Quick Schmidt. What do we got? Yankees give Dominguez, Peraza, Hill, Voit, Andujar, King, Garcia, Sweeney, and Cash. Jesus, that's too many guys for Montez, Manet, and Murphy, in my opinion, Chris. That's a lot of... God. They're 2 and 3 prospect and Hill, Voit, Andujar, King. That's a lot. I don't think it'll cost that much, Chris Schmidt. That's a bold trade. I don't think they would have to give up that much. I mean, at least I would hope not. That would be nuts. Absolutely nuts. It's not official yet, Thomas DeMonda. They're making progress on the deal. They haven't finalized it yet. The George tax would have gotten created. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Over to Steve Cohen tax. Oh, yeah. Morosi again. Yeah. I mean, they're making progress. Let's see. Is it official now? Deep in talks tonight on a deal that can guarantee around $150 million. That's all we know right now. It's not official yet, but it sounds like it'll be, we'll be able to announce it tonight on our live stream. So, but it's going to be at least $150 million. Yeah. Voit, Schmidt, and Hill for Castillo. Yeah, it would probably cost that much. I would probably do that, big boy. Volpe, Dominguez, Peraza, not worth it. No. Yeah, I wouldn't give up those 3 guys for anybody. I'll be shocked if Correa goes to the Orioles. Yeah, I don't think he's going to go to Baltimore. At the end of the day, I'll probably go back to Houston, or maybe I hadn't predicted the Philly. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to Philly, especially if Dombrowski didn't get Bryant, and he's going to want to get a big fish, and he's a big fish. So, and Jim Duggan, the Dodgers are finalizing a deal with Freddie Freeman, and it's not official yet. It hasn't broken yet, and but they're deep in the talks. They're making significant progress towards the deal, and they're almost there. Cedric Mullins would have been the perfect addition. Would cost a lot of prospects. Yeah, he would cost a boatload. Be a monster upgrade, Jack. Probably costs more than Brian Reynolds only because he's in the same league, division as the Yankees. So, yeah, Jim Duggan, yeah. Oakland won't deal in good faith with Yankees. They want to extort a lot. I mean, all the teams want to extort the Yankees. They always do. It's the unfortunate part of the territory. So, I heard he turned down a 6-year deal from the Rays. Yeah, but it wasn't as much as this, Joe C. It was less money, the 6-year deal. He wanted more money. That's clear. So, and LA Sports have leaks. It's LA Sports. It's not on MLB TV yet. MLB Network. Let's refresh everything here. Let's refresh Twitter, Morosi, and all these guys. Yeah, not yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's done and just being released in LA right now because it's the home, the home network and the home paper, so and the home team. So, yeah, Red Sox are creeping, big boy. Yes, they are. And Mullins would be fantastic. I don't think the Orioles would move him though. And Adley Rushman, he's hurt now. He's going to be shut down for a couple of weeks. That's on MLBTradeRumors.com too. Their number one prospect, their catcher, he's hurt. It is the price you pay for being 20 times. Exactly. It comes with the territory, man. And I wouldn't say it's a wash, Tom Hedrick. Not yet. They're gonna be a good team. They're not gonna suck. Colorado is a good spot for Voit. You add him, you can hit some bombs over there. You add him to Kris Bryant and another couple of pieces and be pretty good. And I wouldn't not rule him out yet, Troy Richards. 5 years, $150. Yeah, I mean, Tampa offered 6 years, 140. 5 years, 150 is probably what it's going to take. Let's refresh it again. I know it's at least 150. So 5 years, yeah, it's 30 million per. 30 million per. Yeah, we can get Manea. This doesn't feel like a 250 million thing. Yeah, I mean, it's got the names, it's got the guys. I mean, they got a lot of talent, a lot of quality on this team. A lot of quality. And again, you got some that was an underrated trade that he made. But again, he got rid of like a undisciplined. He got rid of a lot of strikeouts and he replaced it with plate discipline and better defense and like the WAR. And Sanchez's WAR was under 1 and Gio's was under 1. Kiner-Falefa and Donaldson, their WARs are over 3 each. So they're 3 WAR players right now. And it brings a lot more intangibles here too. Was I surprised Bryant got 70? No, because he's 30. I was not surprised. I thought he was going to get around 7. Yeah, Sean Browning. Yeah, probably midnight announcement. That's right. Sean. I don't know if Sean Murphy's in the trade talks. I think it's just with the pitching right now. So Brian is younger than Arenado. Yes, he is, and he's a stud. He's got championship experience, and yeah, exactly, Ryan Beck. I mean that those things matter, like for analytics, and they have a very low strikeout percentage. Their plate discipline's better. They do things that the Yankees don't currently do. That's why the Yankees brought them here in the trade. This had analytics written all over it. This trade, so. Yeah, Falefa would have led the Yankees in hits last year. Exactly. He stole 20-something bases. Like, and he hustles. That's one of the things we haven't seen from the Yankee in a long time. Just all out, balls to the wall hustle. So I did see Voigt's comments. It looks like Voigt's kind of on an FU tour right now. So, and it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Yeah, but Freddie Freeman, they're still making progress. They're deep in talks. Deal that guarantees about $150 million. Once it's official, I'll probably end the live stream and I'll go put out a video on it to announce it. But I'm not going to do it if it's not official just yet, because there might be some hidden details that we find out afterwards. So, just as a heads up, guys. But I want the announcement to be made here while we're here together. That would be kind of cool. $30 million for 30 or 83 runs bad as Brandon Belt can match that. 83 runs better than Robert Rothrow, who's making $30 million for 83 runs. Are you talking about Freddie Freeman? Robert? Yeah, Voit knows he's out. Yeah, I don't know how to change the title backstage of the live stream during the live stream. I don't know how to do that. I have no idea. Yeah, let's get. Yeah, I mean, all right, we're at 300 likes, man. That'd be fantastic. Yeah, I have no idea how to change the title during. I don't know if you can do that backstage. No idea. For Freeman, Shabbat third. Yeah, I mean, he's going to fit right in that lineup perfectly. He's going to fit in perfectly. Yanks should bump that bump, Chapman. Go to the studio app on your phone and do it from there. Hang on, guys. Let me see if I could change studio app. No idea how to do this. View more. Yeah, I don't know. It's all right. What should I do? This Luke Voit for Tapia? Maybe Talbot. Maybe. Donate today. That's all good, FizzWiz. I don't expect people to donate. I appreciate when they do. That's not an expectation for me. So, I appreciate when everybody does. It's their generosity is appreciated. But don't worry about that stuff, man. I consider favorites to reach. Who do I consider favorites to reach? Tampa, Dodgers, probably those guys. Yes, happy Purim, guys. Yes, that's right. No, we need a better center fielder, no doubt about it, Tyler. No doubt about it. Yeah, I think the Yankees A's trade will happen soon. It might even happen tonight. So it might. And studio. Let's see here if I could expand. Oh well, that's all right. I was going to change the name of this live stream to to update it to Freddie Freeman being traded, but all right, hang on here. Backstage, you give me open the app, go to live. Live video. So here we go. And my live is I don't think I could change it while it's live. It's not popping up here. Backstage. A month ago, 2 days ago, let's see, visibility. Shorts. Live. Yeah, it's not even popping up. It's not even popping up backstage. Who's our number 2 right now? It's probably Severino, maybe. But I'm not comfortable with that. Jason Dominguez is probably a year and a half or 2 years away from being in the majors. Stock Collector, thank you so much, man. I appreciate the generous dono, man. Thank you. No Trevor Story news other than, Minnesota's interested and, the Yankees potentially being interested. But I think he'd be a good fit in St. Louis. I think he'd be a good fit in Los Angeles Angels. So, but it is what it is. So, yeah, I think a trade might happen tonight. Would you guys hang in there if I'm going to change the title of this live stream if I can? If I ended the live stream, would you join me right back on in a couple minutes if you're willing, so I could change the name of this? You guys let me know. Yeah. All right. So for those you can hear me, I'm going to end this really quickly. I'm going to re-upload it with the new title because I want to add Freddie Freeman signing with the Dodgers. So hang tight. You'll get the signal in a few minutes that I'm redoing it. So I'll see you guys in a minute. All right.